What's going on, people? It's Hajimoto here, and we're going to talk to you today about some sustainable targets that you can use for small to medium caliber shooting and not have to worry about destroying them every single time and need to buy new targets. We've all seen the types of targets that they have that have the spinny targets you can get from any of the supply places, and other folks will find things and get pretty inventive like bottle caps. And speaking of which, bottle caps. My friend, Mr. Skinny Mitch, threw out a challenge, and what he challenged everyone with, and it was a gauntlet challenge. He took these bottle caps of this size and glued them to popsicle sticks, and he put 4 of them and then set them down range and said, let's see who can shoot them at 50 yards and how many shots does it take. And I really like that idea, and what I said to Mitch was I'm going to show him a more sustainable way of doing this so that you're not replacing the popsicle stick and throwing the cap away every time. What I did was contracted a gentleman that was on eBay who makes and does steel work, and I bought 30 A1110 cold steel, actually I'm sorry, rolled steel, and it was, yeah, rolled steel A1011 metal targets, 1/8 of an inch thick, and he cut them to my specification. And you can see it's basically a 2-inch gong with a little tab and a 1/8 hole through it. I ended up getting 2-inch from him, 1.5 inches, and 1 inch. That was the 3 different sizes that I ended up getting from him, and out of those 3 sizes, I made those sizes based on targets that I bought a lot of that I had over the years, which were these, which would fit right on there, these, which would fit on the larger, and then this type, which would actually give me either here or the smaller one onto the small guy. And if I needed to, I could put this on the medium and just cut it to fit. Okay, so that was what drove me to the sizes I wanted, and obviously it's more challenging to hit the small than it is the large. And these are 1/8 of an inch thick steel. So we're not going to be throwing these away every time I hit them. So when Mitch put the challenge out, I said, okay, well I have a target already that fits the bill here. I'll just get that, place it out there, and I'll go ahead and shoot it. But I said, you know what I'll do? Let me share this information with Mitch and the other guys and see if they get any use out of it. So here's what we're going to do. You get your targets, whatever they are. Steel, you can make them out of 14 gauge steel yourself. If you know an electrician that does a lot of electrical work, the punch outs and the boxes will sometimes work. They're about this size, 3/4 of an inch or so, inch, 3/4, all the punch outs on the box. They work really, really well. I've used those over the years. And then you just drill a 1/8 hole through them and you can do everything else I'm doing from that point forward. You want to go to your garden center, either Home Depot or any other type of dollar store even has these tomato stake guides. You stick these in the ground so that it holds the tomato plant up so it doesn't fall over. Well, there's 2 different gauges typically. This is the thin one, and that's the one you don't want. You want the thicker one. It's about 1/4 of an inch. These will be about 89 cents a piece, but you want the 1/4 inch one, and you want it where it's covered in a thick vinyl. Okay, so now that we have our tomato steak, let's get that thin one out of here. We're going to use the thicker one, okay? And then we're going to straighten it out. We're going to straighten this guy out here and make it one straight piece. What we end up with is something like this. All straight, one straight piece, okay? Now that we have that figured out, we're going to say what target are we going to use and how many do we want to have across it with an even amount of spacing so that we get good use out of it. We're going to use the large one for this exercise, but this can be applied to any of the others just as easily. So what I would do is say, let's say 4 across would probably be good, like this, with 1 inch in between each guy so we get good swingification. And then we measure that spread and we look at it and we say, you know, 13 inches or so would be a good spot for those guys to be able to do their thing without getting jacked up. So we've got our targets, we got our spike. What you're going to need is some Sash Chain, number 35. You can get this from Home Depot. Each one of these links are nothing more than flat steel, but they're bent in an arrangement so that it ends up with links of steel, and it's a Sash Chain. This is probably 89 cents a foot. That's about a foot right there that you're looking at. So you got a lot of links there that you can use. So you'll need some Sash Chain. You'll need some aluminum or stainless steel or steel, whatever you can, number 46 1/8 inch rivets, so that you have the length. Okay, you need a pop rivet. You'll need a backup washer for the back of that rivet. You'll need some wire cutters, or in either case, you're going to be using that large hole at the bottom. Okay, either one of these will work. These are more expensive, but these do the job just as well. And then we're going to take our wire, get our 13-inch spread on it, and we're going to bend it at the 13s, here and here, so we end up with a nice trapeze that our target's going to hang on. This can push into the ground, and then leaving our target suspended like that. So once we have this, we'll make marks across it, indicating where we need to have the sash plates, these guys, the little links that we took off, one for each target. We're going to take our 13-inch spread, which on this one I've already marked out in magic marker, so I can see where they have to be notched. And I'm going to show you what I mean by the notching. It's going to happen right now. So what I'll do, it's hard to see, I got a lot of glare in here. So I've marked it, and you can see we've got a mark here, 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 and here. What we're going to do is take our wire cutters, and we're going to, at each mark, we're going to go on each side of it just enough to allow this link to sit between the plastic. So it's nothing more than what? 1/8 of an inch, 3/16. So what we'll do is we take our stripper, put it there, we'll make a turn back and forth, move it over, do the same thing. And I'm going to do this on all of these. Okay, now that we've removed the insulation at the 4 locations, the plastic that's on this rod will be starting to be more evident why I said you want one with the plastic on it. Because of that little shoulder of plastic, it's going to keep that chain link where it belongs. It's not going to slide up and down, or you don't have to put tape or zip ties to try to keep it where it belongs. That will keep it. So what we're going to do now, take each one of our little links that we took off already, snap them on, like that. So now we have, as you can see, they stay where we want them. The next stage is going to be the attaching of the little targets, and I'll show you how we do that. We don't need this tape measure or this other tomato guide anymore. We'll need our rivet gun, which we'll get the rivet in, ready to go. Our backup washer, and we're going to start with this first guy right here. We take the little gong and we slip it in between. You can see that's open. It's a bit open, so I'm going to close it just a little bit. And we're going to slip the gong in. Like this, so it's in the link like we want it. We take the rivet, push it through the gong, our little target, aluminum going through steel a lot softer than it should be. I'm just going to push this through. I'll be right back on camera in 1 second. Okay, now that we pushed it through, we put the backup washer on the back of it. Pop rivet. And what I do is take it one step further. I take a pair of pliers, like this, And all I do is make sure that the link is substantially reduced around that rod so that it stays there. Now, as you can see, when I hit that, it's always going to come back true, and it's always going to be facing the way I want to shoot it again. And then what I'll do is, when I'm ready, I take the target, stick it right on it, rub it down, and now that thing can get shot over and over and over again, like this guy has been. As you can see, that's been shot up pretty good. And this can just be pushed into the ground, and we're done. That's my sustainable design. I'll be having links down below for everything that I've got here. And I'm going to show you the one that I made for you, Mitch. This is the design I came up for the Mitch Gauntlet Challenge, which was the bottle cap challenge, which I just took the full length so that way I've got more height on this target. And I'm going to have it go down range. And the reason that I left this sticking out is my plan is I'm going to put this next to a tree. I'm going to drive that in the tree, and then this will be supported by itself so that I don't get a bunch of boinging around. I want it to be high so that it's further out above all my other targets. And if we take a look at this, Mitch, there's yours, there's mine, the same size. If you guys have any questions, please leave comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Enjoy, and let's see your shots. So there we go, my air gun brethren. Another video done. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it greatly and look forward to your comments below. Thanks for stopping by.